How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. What a wild Monday we had with Mercury-Pluto conjunction. Mercury is 2 degrees off Pluto today, so this is definitely massive sudden shifts. Definitely in the collective. We know in our personal lives that we've hit our limit, right? And we're ready to break through situations in our lives where we are ready to just accept it for what it is and make the changes we need to. I definitely experienced that in my personal life. 2 clients yesterday, it was just the same kind of conversation. It was just like, I'm at my limit with this particular situation, and I'm not afraid to say how I feel. I feel like with Mercury was behind Pluto before Sunday evening and Monday, it was like we were kind of burying things. And, we went through Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. So it was like there's things we want to say, things we're building up. Pluto is still in Capricorn and Mercury was in Capricorn. It's like, it just seemed like yesterday. It's just like, I felt it within myself and in clients and other things. Like, it was just the same kind of energy, and it was amazing to see. I know I saw somebody, or I got some messages on my Instagram yesterday of people also kind of sharing some things about their experience with this Mercury Pluto, and it's like we are at our peak limit here and really ready to say how we feel, and even if it hurts, And that's what this is all about. And the sun's getting ready to square Uranus. Mercury in Aquarius is going to square Jupiter very soon. So it's like we're seeing crazy weather everywhere. We're seeing this whole migrant thing hit the fucking wall. Like, it's crazy. It's like it just seems like things are about to pop everywhere, And it's a good thing. Like, it's good. Like, that's the good part about Pluto's. It puts the pressure on to force change and force evolution, That's the only way really human beings seem to make changes, when the pressure's on and we're forced to make a shift, It's like we get so stuck in our routines and our habits and our patterns and our comfort zones, especially with Uranus and Taurus. Like, that's all about just totally shaking up your comfort zones to really put the pressure on to find new paths. And Pluto is definitely starting to kick that in here. So if you're doing the work, you're, staying true to yourself and being honest and being objective, even with the heavy, dark shit, like, it's a lot easier to move through this energy right now, When we get to Pisces season, like, it's going to be a much more different vibe. But this Aquarius season is... And honestly, the Aquarius seasons that we're going to have for the next 19 years, like, they're going to be the most intense, deep time periods in any season of fixed signs, right? So we're starting to really see what that's going to be now. So, now that we're off, Mercury's starting to move past Pluto, it's like we know exactly what we want. We know exactly what we want our reality to be, And it's like we're finally ready to just lay it out on the table, and cut ties if we have to. But also, set boundaries. Like, this Mercury Pluto is like kind of like an ultimatum. Like, you know what? If it's not going to be this way, I'm done. I'm over. I'm moving on. I got to find my own path and my own way, because I can't be stuck in these same patterns that just are not evolving, And when you do that, you can put pressure on the situation or others where they may be stuck, and that's kind of like how we can kind of share this energy as well. Like, and it can be harsh. It's very harsh. This Aquarius season is definitely harsh, and it's not for everyone. It's not easy, Capricorn, all the planets in Capricorn with Mars and Venus and the moon coming into Capricorn today, like, Capricorn and Aquarius is the harshest areas in the zodiac, but it's also like where real evolution and real manifestation and real, where the real shit goes down. So we're definitely moving on a different path now. And we're not afraid to really speak how we feel. You know, when Mars and Pluto come together here, it's going to be like, we're ready to actually move in that direction and fucking kick ass. So, you know, we're seeing it. We're starting to feel everywhere in the world and everywhere in our personal lives, in every aspect of our personal lives and in the collective, that it's just like we've hit our limit. We've hit our peak and we are ready to make a change. And as well, like the sun is going to be making a trine to the south node while sextile the north node, while Venus squaring the nodes, creating a T-square to the nodes here. So this has been kind of like, this is kind of thing has been going on for the past few weeks, where it's, especially with the nodes, where we'll see these, you know, we had Mercury and Mars do this kind of same kind of thing, where the sun is, you know, activating this kind of like, yeah, we're ready to liberate, you know, and ready to find our, you know, new version of ourselves. But also, like, when it comes to the past and our relationships, it's like, you know, we got to cut ties and, you know, kind of be realistic about what the future is going to be. You know, Aquarius is all about the future, you know, and with this sextile to the north node, it's like, well, I want to be the next version of myself in the future, you know, and I have to not be stuck in the same old shit in relationship patterns that just are not serving this new version of ourselves and this new kind of forced evolution that we're going through. You know, and the ones that are riding that wave and accepting that those are the ones who are going to see real amazing things come into their life and experience amazing positive shifts. You know, if you're stuck in the south node and playing out the same old patterns with relationships and everything, you're not willing to just like, you know, move in a different direction and shake things up to, you know, and like, it's going to be very hard. And when you are willing to shake things up and move in a different direction, that's when you can really find a new version of yourself, you know. And Venus is also squaring Chiron as it's T-squaring the nodes, you know. The Venus squared Chiron exact yesterday, but I really didn't want to bring it up, like, because today is when Venus is squaring the nodes with Chiron. So it is all of this, like, you know, that's where the real healing really is being willing to just like move in a whole different direction and shake shit up, you know, and not be stuck. That's what Aquarius does. It just shocks you to just move in a whole different place and find new ways and innovate and create, you know. And this really comes down to our self and our self-worth and our values. It's like, you know, it's like if this situation isn't valuable for the person that you want to be in the future here with this North Node Aries Chiron, it's like you gotta let it go. You gotta be realistic about it, you know. And it's like it can be kind of shocking to people, you know. I had some experience yesterday where I was dealing with some people and a client who was like, you know what, like I have to express this to this person, and I don't really know how yet. And it's just like, you know, you're being so timid about it. You know, Libra, like the South Node Libra situation, it's like, well, you can't really say how you feel. It's like you just kind of beat around the bush and, you know, it's very passive-aggressive. Libra's very passive-aggressive, right? Aries is not passive-aggressive, and Mercury-Pluto conjunction is not passive-aggressive whatsoever. Aquarius can be passive-aggressive, but like this energy with Mercury-Pluto, North Node, Chiron, it's like, you know, and with Venus making a square here, it's like, if it's not valuable, like you can't just go in circles and go around and around and around, you know, because that's what kind of passive-aggressive communication can lead to, and just not being willing to say how you feel, even though outside of a situation, it's like you can express it to somebody else. It's like, I feel this way and this and that, but I can't express it to this person because like I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever, you know. And it's like, this is the moment where you'll be surprised when you're willing to just cut deep and say the truth and get to the real shit, that it can really benefit the future in a much more positive, healthy way and not be stuck, because like what it comes down to, it's like with Venus and Capricorn squaring these nodes, it's like, are we going in the same direction together or are we not? It's like, are we climbing this mountain together? Because like, if we're not, like, it's not valuable to me, and there is no long-term future. Like Venus rules Taurus, Capricorn also in relation to Taurus, like it's about the long term, and getting towards the goal and manifesting the future, and only doing things that are valuable to you, not just doing all kinds of different things just because you're with all these different people and these different situations, and it's leading you in all kinds of directions that you didn't even want to go, but you can't really stand up for yourself because you don't want to let people down. Like, that's kind of what this Venus squaring the nodes is bringing up. And with Mercury, Pluto, it's just like, you got to fucking say it. You got to just say it out loud, and draw the line, draw the boundaries, and not be afraid to do so. And the moon is going to sextile Saturn today in Capricorn. It'll trine Jupiter as well. So we got the moon in Capricorn, sextile Saturn in Pisces, while also trining Jupiter in Taurus at 7 degrees. So we have Jupiter at 7 degrees. We have Saturn at 7 degrees, while the moon's going to be at 7 degrees. So this is it. It's just like, it's to be able to like kind of detach from the emotions and not be so passive aggressive about things and say, hey, it's like, this is what I want. This is the value that I want. And this is what I want to build for the future, and like, I'm trusting my intuition here, and I'm listening to Saturn, saying that, like, what you want to build for your future is from a higher place than it is from the divine, So that's Saturn in Pisces. It's teaching us like how to create something solid and real from a spiritual place, because if you're doing things that just aren't real and aren't valuable for the future, and it's just all over the place and it's a mess and it's just chaotic, in this South Node Libra, which is so many different situations, I had 2 people I was talking to yesterday, and it was just like the same kinds of things where it's just like, it's very hard right now for people to really stand up for themselves, and let go of things and just say how they really feel when it comes to the things that are just kind of dragging them all over the place. There's 2 occurrences I had, 2 exchanges about that kind of similar thing. It's like, this is the opportunity to draw the line, and Mercury, Pluto is giving us the intensity and fearlessness to say that shit. But Pluto also rules fear. So you don't want to be overly aggressive and instill fear and come at it from a fear-based perspective. You want to come at it from love, at the end of the day, it's like, we don't want to instill fear. There's a lot of fear going around. I mean, there's a lot of fear mongering going around, even though there's crazy ass shit going on in the world, like there's still a lot of fear being projected here. And like, there's nothing to fear other than, you not willing to make the big changes and just stand up for yourself and do it for yourself, and however other people feel about it, it's up to them, that's none of your concern with the South Node Libra. Our concern right now is following this North Node in this Chiron and identifying what the issues are, identifying where the wounds are, and identifying our true selves so we can, get to a better, higher place, And with Venus squaring these nodes today, it's like we only have to be going in a direction where things are really, truly valuable. We only want to be going in directions with our relationships that are valuable and, are of a higher destiny with Venus and Capricorn. Like, everything seems to be fated right now with Mercury, Pluto, and Mars coming on to Pluto, and with Venus and Mars and Capricorn. It's like, it's all about fate, and there's so many synchronicities that are kind of showing up in our lives right now. This is a very synchronistic time, and where things start to be syncing. Like, we are in very rare transits. We haven't experienced this. We haven't experienced Mercury, Pluto. in Aquarius. We haven't experienced Mars getting ready to conjunct Pluto. We haven't experienced Venus getting ready to conjunct Pluto, and we have a new moon this week that's going to square Uranus. So we haven't seen the sun square Uranus, which Uranus dispositing the sun and dispositing Pluto, and now dispositing Mercury, and will disposit Mars. Like, we haven't seen a new moon with all this Uranian Aquarian energy with Pluto here. So this is all new. Every moment is novel with Pluto here. It's all brand new, and it's like, if we're going to keep chasing our destiny and chasing our dreams and chasing our own path, which is what Mars and Capricorn is all about, and with Venus too, it's like, it's got to be valuable. It's got to serve the higher destiny. It's got to serve a real purpose and, like, a real solid foundation, because a lot of things are getting exposed. A lot of truths are getting exposed. A lot of information is coming out. Secrets are coming out. And this is only the beginning. We know this is only the beginning because we know Mars and Venus have to do with Pluto here. And they're going to come together. And it's like, so much is coming to the surface, so much information. Now it's going to be like, man, it's going to trigger people over the next, through the rest of February. I mean, people are going to be really triggered here. But the ones who are actually doing the work and on their path and listening to their intuition, Saturn is helping us right now. Jupiter is really helping us. The moon is letting us know. It's like, hey, we don't need to be getting caught up in that. I mean, moon in Capricorn is pretty fucking cold. Like, if you have a moon in Capricorn, it's like you got dark humor. Dark humor is what drives your soul. It could be quite cold in there, but it also is about detaching from the emotions. The moon rules Cancer, so that's all about emotions. But moon in Capricorn is being willing to detach from the emotions and just see the purpose and the work that needs to be done. And it's making a sextile to Saturn while trining Jupiter. It's like, damn, like, no matter what crazy wild stuff's coming up, we got to still keep putting in the work and still work hard and still chase the bigger picture, and Jupiter's going to keep helping us with that. So, I mean, at the same time, Mercury will square Jupiter too. So it is like, now that Mercury's been triggered by Pluto, once it comes into square with Jupiter, that's when the exposure and the information of what is starting to come up here is going to, boom, is going to pop out. So definitely in our personal lives, like, there's going to be things in your life or with people or about you or in your workplace, really depending on where it's at in your chart. But there's going to be a lot of exposure here in a very big way, and in the collective as well. And we're seeing it all over the place. So this is about, today is one of these days where it's like, which direction are we going? What no longer serves me? Where do I need to cut ties? And being willing to just not get caught up in a passive aggressive state and take it head on. It's too easy right now with this South Node Libra to just like check out and not say how you truly feel about things. So if you're willing to stand up and say, like, this is how I feel, like, this is where I want to go, either we're going to do this together and create value together, or I have to go my own way, or, and we can help each other evolve, Either way, whether we're willing to make evolutionary changes in the groups that we're in, this is Aquarius, or in relationships, with the South Node, it's like, whether we can communicate different new ways of doing things, or we have to cut ties. Either way, that's the best possible thing that can happen right now for the future, for everybody. That's how evolution works, is you put the pressure on, and that's what stimulates and creates the future. When things are just complacent and still, it doesn't go, nothing goes anywhere, and all planets are direct, so nothing's standing still right now. And Mars is on its way to conjunct Pluto, so we're going to have, this is going to be some of the most intense Mars energy we're going to have all year. This is when Mars conjunct Pluto, because that's two malefics together, both ruled by Scorpio, or both rule Scorpio. So this is like primal energy, that fight or flight kicking in here. It's like, we got to make a change. We got to move now. We can't just sit still, So I pulled the Hermit card. So, we want to be able to maintain a stoic attitude too, because shit is so wild right now. The energy is so intense, and we want to, also not be afraid to just hold our own ground and shine our light from a higher hidden place. It's like sometimes maybe not saying anything at all could be helpful, and just being that person that's an example. To me, the Hermit card is very much about being an example. But also holding your own magic and not giving it away where it doesn't have any purpose or value, and you want to be the person who really is starting to influence people from a higher place, and sometimes that doesn't even really require words. And that's very Mercury, Pluto too, where like the psychic energy is just so amplified that it may not require words. If it gets into a situation with people where like things need to be said, it's like, you already know. We already know how this is going down. We're not going to sit here and bullshit each other and waste time. Like, we already know how this is going down. In a positive way or in a way that is not necessarily pleasant. We're talking about Pluto. Like, it's deep shit. It's intense. So later this week, I think we have to gear up for the Sun square Uranus too with this new moon. This new moon is definitely not an easy one coming up here. Aquarius season with Pluto for the next 19 years is going to be it's just always going to be wild. Pluto isn't necessarily doesn't do the best in Aquarius, but what it does do the best in Aquarius is shake shit up and radicalize things. We have to be willing to take that radical journey to uncover some deep stuff and willing to transform, because I think even with Mercury Pluto conjunction in Aquarius, it's like even how we express language is going to transform. How we express, our words is going to transform. So in 20 years, we might find new ways of communicating. And I think I look back at Pluto and Capricorn with like texting and social media, like, and all this stuff. It's like totally changed how we communicate and how we use language. If you listen to people, like watch interviews from people from the 40s and 50s and the 60s, like you listen to how people talk. Like, it's pretty phenomenal how concise and thorough people used to communicate, and that was normal. It was just how people use language. Now it's like we just have all kinds of slang and weird ass words, like that. I hear younger people use some slang now, or I see shit on the internet. Like, people are using this word, like Riz. Younger people are using this word called Riz. I don't know what the hell that means, but you didn't hear people talk like that, like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, Like, we have all kinds of slang. Even I grew up in the 90s, so we had all kinds of slang, and definitely slang that's not even appropriate now, or you get canceled for saying the kind of slang we were saying in the 90s and 2000s. It was just all fun and games, but now it's like how we use language is totally transformed. And definitely with Mercury Pluto, it's like controlling it, wanting to control what others say, And yeah, the psychic energy is at an all-time high right now. Definitely with Mars and Pluto, it's like the psychic, primal, sexual energy is like ramping up so massively. It's like people's libidos are going to be at an all-time high. People's aggression is going to be at an all-time high. And we're getting closer and closer and closer each day. So we want to prepare for that. And this new moon coming up this week is going to, start that whole new cycle here. And then it's like when Mars, Venus, Pluto, or when Mars and Venus cross Pluto, and then we've just dealt with Mercury, Pluto, and then we have this new moon. It's like, then we're really going to have a really broad taste of what Pluto and Aquarius is all about. So it's that's what's on the plate here. We didn't feel this. Like, I mean, last year everyone was like, "Oh my God, Pluto's coming into Aquarius," and it's like we didn't really have to deal with it that much. The fact that the Sun and Pluto came into Aquarius at 0 degrees, and then all these personal planets are now conjuncting Pluto. We're getting we're getting the full 3-course meal here. Mercury, Venus. Well, fuck. I mean, we had the Sun too, so it's like we're getting breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a midnight snack. So we didn't get that last year. So we're getting the whole picture here. And this new moon's going to really kick it off, and Uranus and the Sun squaring, it's going to shake shit up, so be ready for anything. I expect the unexpected, and it's exciting. That's the thing. It's like as intense as Aquarius season's going to be for the next 19 years. It's exciting, and it's liberating as long as you're willing to just not stay where you're at and be stuck, and let go of things if you have to, and, be willing to transform and evolve. That's really what it's all about. And that's what Pluto is all about, is being willing to transform and evolve, Pluto rules our DNA and our genetic structure. So it's like even our genetics are changing. Our DNA, unless, for some people, not me. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we all are. We're all being affected. But, that's the thing. It's like, is it forced change? Or is it natural evolution? That's the question. That's the real question with Pluto here is, what evolution is actually forced upon you and what evolution is natural? I think that's probably the discernment we're going to have to bring into our new conscious awareness with Pluto and Aquarius now. Because evolution is happening at a rapid rate now. But we have to discern what is forced evolution and what is a natural occurrence. And, I don't even have to say what I really mean by that, because I think everybody watching this knows exactly what the hell I'm saying. So we want to do all the right things to make sure that our natural growth and evolution is for a higher purpose, and not for some Aquarian cult-like control. Aquarius can get culty. Pluto also can get culty. So put them together, it's like, well, if you're not like this and you didn't do that and you don't think like me, you can't sit with us. That's the very Aquarius, the dark side of Aquarius, the shadow. And Pluto is the shadow. So that's going to be coming up a lot. So anyway, we're getting ready for that new moon. So appreciate you all for being here. And yeah, I love sharing this space with you guys every day. And share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. All the links to all the platforms that I exist on in the interweb is all in the description of this video. My Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, which, I don't fuck with that much. But yeah, if you want to book a reading, the link to my website is in the bio. My Pluto and Aquarius reading sale did fill up, but I'm still leaving it up on the table for that price if you want it, and it'll have to be for March. So it was supposed to end on the 19th, but I'm going to leave it up for until then, until the 19th, because that's what I said I was going to do. So I appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.